Yo,
Yeezo.
It's your Renaissance Swag Girls here, Kat and Alex, shooting episode 3 of Curly Q's live.
From Whole Foods.
Yes.
This is our co-working space for the moment.
Yes.
Not really. We just didn't have anywhere else to film this week.
And we love it here.
Yeah, so if you hear any background noises, announcements, or really weird hands reaching behind us, it's because this
We're
the resources we had this week.
Exactly. But here's how it's going to work. Blank sheet of paper.
Oh
for
wait,
those-
if you're not familiar with Curly Q's, this is a little bit more of an intimate session
Definitely.
compared to our other videos.
Yeah, so what we do, blank sheet of paper, we come to the table. I have a question for Alex has a question for me. We don't know the question. And we flip a coin. Heads is me, tails is Alex. So whatever it lands on, that's the person who has to answer first. And that's basically how it goes.
We want a little bit more of authenticity when it comes to these questions and
Yes.
answers, so
Here we go.
real-time reactions. Ready?
Yes.
Don't look at my answer.
And that.
I need my question.
Oh gosh. This feels like a test. Like, how fast can you write it
I
in the
know.
given
We
time?
gotta figure out another way to do this.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't look at mine.
I'm not looking.
Wow. Oh, sorry, I'm a little wrong.
It's okay. They'll just enjoy the background, the white noise of Whole Foods.
Okay. All right. So here we go. Wait.
Can I flip it this time? I never get to flip it.
I don't know. I'm
flipping
Can you
it.
flip it?
Yeah.
Can you flip points?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Ready?
That should be a question. Here we go. Oh, she can. Heads. Oh
Mhm.
man, again. Okay, here we go. So I go first.
Yes.
Open. Here we go. How do you balance creation and consumption? Ooh, I like that.
I like that you like that.
Ooh. So that's interesting. Creation and consumption. I feel what's great about this question is I think it's a question for yourself too.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
A little bit.
Oh my god.
A little.
I think I keep asking questions that I want to answer myself.
Yeah.
Ask myself.
Well, no, because what's funny. No, this is totally
Maybe
true.
I want to hear your answer because I'm struggling with this
Yeah,
myself.
maybe, probably. Oh, darn. Okay, so I know where you're getting at this. When you consume too much and you have too many people's mindset, their creations, their words, their terminology, how they view things, and it affects the way you're creating because you kind of have that in the back of your mind,
Mhm.
and you want to be authentic. So that to me can work two ways.
Okay.
So one in a really a creative aspect of art, looking at other artists. So I'm thinking create for myself in terms of art, and I'm thinking create in terms of writing, kind of what we're doing here, Renaissance Swag, communicating, speaking.
Mhm.
But here's what's fun about this. Nothing is new nowadays. So I think I've come to terms, and I don't think I need to balance. Maybe the balance has already been balanced out,
Okay.
because I've come to. Oops, sorry. There we go. I've come to a peaceful state to not compare myself to others. I mean, there are times when, yes, I'm guilty of it, but in a creative
We all are.
sense, to try not to judge myself, because I always say artists recreate through the past creations of others. What does that mean? That means that really nothing is original. We've been saying it over and over and over again. But it's just how you interpret it and how you put forth what it is that we're all really talking about into the table. So when you consume, we've all been consuming the same thing over and over and over, whether that's in a literary text, whether that's through art, whether that's listening to a podcast in your ears, or watching a video
Or
like
music.
this, or music. There are things that repeat itself, so it's how can you take that consumption in a way, it's almost like not a balance, it's you consume, and what does that make you feel like, and then you create, without having to base yourself off of everyone else and what everyone else is doing. Because we easily did that in the beginning. We thought, guys, we thought we were going to be a health blog. We just ate quinoa, dark.
Even though I had green juice.
Yeah,
so you gotta balance it. Green juice and chocolate.
So we just had quinoa, dark chocolate. So I laughed at the fact that we thought we were consuming so much because at that time we loved health and we still love health and we thought we were going to be health professionals. Well,
No,
thank goodness
not
we're
at all.
not, because we like to have a glass of wine sometimes, but we like to have our green juice. So there is a balance, and it's knowing your truth. It's finding your unique, to thine own self be true, as Shakespeare said. It's really just being true to yourself and not letting consumption take over, but actually being a vehicle to create even more powerfully.
Right, but I think maybe the question was, how can you balance that consumption when you're trying to create? How,
Like-
if you're still listening to other people's podcasts, or you're still reading other people's blogs, how are you still able to create in that own authentic voice?
Almost more practically.
Okay.
Right. If I hear things, if I like things, I on my phone have a notes section, running notes section called Inspiring Quotes, or like tidbits. And I have about, I don't even know how many, hundreds of notes that if I'm listening to a podcast or if I'm reading a book, I've been reading a lot of Elizabeth Gilbert, so she's on top of my mind. And even in Eat, Pray, Love, there were snippets of beautiful passages that I was like, this just inspired me, I'm going to write it down. And no attachment. I wrote it down, and then when I reread all of these ideas and these flowing thoughts, it sparks something within me to create something else. So in a practical sense, I just write it down. The other day I listened to a podcast at work, and I had a stack of Post-it notes right at the side of my mouse. And anytime I was hearing an idea that I loved, I was like, stop, write it down, Post-it note, then another Post-it note on top. And I had about 20 Post-it notes of just random text. And I think writing it down, it makes it tangible and real as opposed to just circulating in your mind, and then something comes out of it.
Nice. I love that because it fuels your own creativity, and then it seems like it's more intentional consumption as opposed to passively consuming or mindlessly consuming, because that can happen a lot.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah. So your question now.
You're welcome.
Sorry.
Let's see. When you're having an off day, what do you do to cope, collect, and center yourself? Okay. Wow. So there's so many times throughout a day that you can have those off moments, right? But if I'm having a truly off day, I definitely have to check in with myself to see if I did non-negotiable things, right? So this man, Brian Johnson, that I used to really love listening to, he had a podcast and blog, he always talked about, what are your non-negotiables? What are the 1 to 2 things that you have to do every single day, or else it doesn't feel like you had a good day, or it doesn't feel like you were able to live up to who you really are? So I was just thinking about, instead of daily non-negotiables, it's actually weekly non-negotiables. So for me, I really want to make sure that 3 to 4 times a week I'm getting in a really, really good sweat. Whether that is through going to the gym or going to yoga or going on I'm walking the entire city block.
But what happens sometimes when you don't get to do that? I know there's some, getting back into it, it was harder for you balancing life. You couldn't do exercise. What other mechanisms?
For me, I mean, this sounds very cliche as well, but I have to think of really morbid things that could have happened to my life, and I'm grateful that is in my life. So there are billions of people on this earth that are living less than $2 a day, and right now I'm communicating with you all through this beautiful MacBook Air, and when I'm having a really off day, I have to think, am I being grateful today? Are the things that are holding me back, or the things that I feel that are obstacles that are making me feel off, are those actually opportunities for me to grow? So if I just want to refer back to the questions, what do you do to cope, collect, and center yourself? Viewing what I'm seeing as a hindrance as an opportunity. It's always about perspective for me, and it's always having that lens of gratitude. So sometimes it can be really hard to be thankful for a breakup, or thankful for your boss being psychotic to you today, or you can have those resentment build up, right? But you have to really kind of, first of all, check yourself. Why are you feeling that way? So I always, check in with myself, and I have to understand, why is it that I'm really feeling this way? Because maybe I'm having an off day, but it's not because of my boss. It's because of me. It's because of what I'm bringing to the table.
I just challenge you because
Thank you for challenging me.
No, because
I think I was beating around the bush.
Totally.
Or maybe I just wasn't answering it the way I could have.
No, because I know that's typical. Like, obviously we all love exercise, but I know that both of us have been
you're right.
We haven't been on our A game, so maybe that's why we've been a little more pent up.
We're releasing.
We're not releasing. But what else can we do? Because there are times when we're always walking, we're always in motion. But I know there are times when we don't get that physical sweat.
Or you can say, well, what if you have a day you did all of your non-negotiables? You did your exercise, you talked to your friend, and you still feel like shit.
So exactly.
For me, it's checking in with myself and being grateful, because there's so much for me to be grateful for. There's so many blessings in my life, and I feel sometimes like I am the luckiest girl in the world. So I realize when I'm having a bad day is when I don't feel fortunate and when I don't feel gratitude.
And I have to say something about Alex that I love that she instilled in my life, and collectively we do this, and we've been bringing more people involved. Write down 3 things you're grateful for every single night, and have an accountability partner. Have somebody you text that you can go to and say, "Hey, Alex, 1, I'm grateful for my little toes that can, wiggle and move, and my feet that hold me up. 2, I'm grateful for whatever, and having that person to go back and forth, it makes you think about all the good. You really check in with yourself. So she's always been that light for me to just make me recheck myself. Like, okay, I'm a little too negative right now, or let's change the topic. Let's check in. So I had to challenge you because I kind of knew the answer. I kind of sneakily
thank
knew
you
the
for
answer.
your words. I received that.
Yeah, no, and I kind of knew the answer, but I didn't know that you're not. I didn't know that you actually think more morbid things. That actually surprised me. Not morbid.
It's not morbid. It's more just thinking, wait, I gotta check myself, because there are people out there that do not have all the things. Not that I have, but all the opportunities that I have. For me, I thank God that I was born in New York, in the United States of America, in 1991, because I love this time that it is to be alive. I'm happy that I was born with all of my fingers. I'm happy that I can move my body so many times. The reason I guess I'm talking about exercise is because for me sometimes, like, if I'm having an off day, if I don't feel like comfortable in my body, or like I'm upset with myself, but it's, take a chill pill for a second. You have these legs that you can walk up and run to the subway when you're late, which you are a lot of the time.
Yeah, we take for granted sometimes.
That's what I mean. And I'm not saying I think morbidly if my family were to die, knock on wood. It's more of
humbling experience.
Humbling myself. And the Stoics used to do this, actually. The Stoics used to take one day out of the month that they would wear the most dull clothes, and the Stoics were actually a more wealthy class, so they were used to feast, and they actually had the time to intellectualize, where everyone else was doing more slave labor. But so the Stoics would say, have one time per month where you are sleeping on the floor, where you're eating very, very simple foods, where you're wearing simple clothing. And I think a lot of religions actually do this when you're supposed to be fasting. There's Ramadan, there's Lent. I don't know the proper term.
Humbling.
But it's just humbling yourself. Yeah. So that was a little bit of a, I'm sorry I went long with my answer.
We digress a lot, so just hope you're still enjoying.
Just humbling myself and being grateful. Yeah, checking myself before I wreck myself.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself. But with that,
yes,
we hope, you know what, 2 things. 1, what do you do to cope when you're having an off day?
Yes, we love to hear it. We want to hear your tips.
And how do you guys balance creativity and consumption?
I love that.
Yeah.
And then if you have any curly cues for us curly cues, we want to hear them.
Below.
Yes, because we will answer them on the next episode.
Yes.
I don't know. I keep saying session as well.
I do too. The episode session. Tell us which one you like better.
Exactly. And then sign up for a newsletter, email newsletter if you aren't already, because you will stay up to date with all of our recent updates and our posts, our blog posts. More to come in 2016, more exciting things.
You'll receive our fans' top 2 greatest posts that we've written that everyone loves. So, yeah, be sure to check those out. And
until then,
keep classy.
Stay sassy.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao. Mwah.